Welcome to Ecclesia Principles, a biblical strategy for believers to engage in God's design for government with Ray Eppard.
Hello, glad you could join us again today. We're currently looking at how to protect the family. The family is the second jurisdiction that God created, and it is the building blocks of society, of community, and so with that, it really needs to be protected. And we're going to talk about a number of things, but at this point, I'm really wanting to talk about how within the home, the family can protect the family, if you would. Ephesians 6:4 says, "And you fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord." You see, with this, the role of a parent is to train their children, to actually put in them the things that they need for life. And not just so that they, quote, won't be a problem to anybody. Well, I put a roof over their head and I put food on the table. No, there's a lot more to it than that. The bottom line is you should be endeavoring to equip your children to start life from a better position than you did. And at that point, I'm not talking about economically. Some of those things factor in too. But I'm talking about as a whole. When you take everything as a whole, how much do they know about God? How much do they know about life? How much do they know about discipline? How much do they know about prayer? All of these types of things, we need to prepare them. We need to train them. It is training. You see, we talked a little bit, well, no, it actually wasn't on this program. I was talking somewhere else. And I said that discipline is actually not punishment. And so many parents approach discipline as a punishment. And it's not designed to be a punishment. Discipline is designed to be an improvement, help them improve. Now, sometimes that means that there's parts that are not fun. There's parts that are not enjoyable. But with that, in Hebrews chapter 12, God talks about the chastening of the Lord. And he compares it to parents disciplining their children. And he says, they did it as they wanted. He said, but the Lord does it for our good. In other words, what he's dealing with is the reality that not all parents discipline for the good of the children. But everything God does is to make you better, to improve you, to enhance you, to make you more of what he designed you to be. And ultimately, God's approach to discipline is what we should be taking toward our children. And if we do that, we won't be provoking them to wrath, because in that process, we will be sharing with them how we're trying to make them better, how we're trying to make their life better. You see, one of the things, when I disciplined our sons, one of the things I would talk about was the fruit that was desired to come forth from that. And why? And we actually had discussions. And we did spank. A lot of people go, wow, yeah, we did spank. And one time, as I was explaining some things, one of my sons asked me, so why do you spank me? And so I actually began to explain to him about how, number one, God said to do it. But it's not about punishment. It's not about how much you hurt. What it is, it's like building a guardrail, putting a guardrail in on a mountain road. The bottom line is that when you begin to veer off and you start doing something you know you shouldn't do, it begins to create memories that connect disobedience with the sense of pain. Again, it's not trying to hurt them, but it's creating that connection so that then when they grow up and in life, they're dealing with something and they're getting ready to make a choice, that guardrail has been put in there. They're not going to get a spanking at that point, but the bottom line is if they disobey God, it's going to create hurt. And that is a muscle memory that you're trying to create. It's not good to disobey. God bless you. Join us again tomorrow.
You've been listening to Ecclesia Principles with Ray Eppard. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook on our Ray Eppard pages. This program was brought to you by Victory Worship Center and World Outreach. Services Sunday 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, 200 Hammond Lane, Stanton, Virginia.